I was in a particular church, and the way the service went, it was it was an organized service, and so the choir would stand up and sing, and the choir would sit down, preacher would say something, and there was a man in church, and whenever the choir whenever the congregation sat back down, everybody stand up, say something, sit back down. When he would nod off, he'd hear everybody stand up, he'd stand up. And I'm watching it, because I'm kind of tickled by it. I'm completely distracted. I ain't paying a lick of attention to the rest of the service. I'm getting tickled about this man. He falls asleep. Everybody waking. He's standing on up. So the pastor got up and said, well, we're going to have a selection from the choir. Blah, blah, blah. And the choir stood up. He heard all that rustling and stood up. He out in the congregation all by himself. And so, I'm about to cry. I laugh. I'm trying my best not to laugh. I'm saying, oh, Lord, please help me. But I'm about to cry. And he got that down anyway. That was funny to me. Yeah, what's that got to do with this right here? So funny stuff can go on in church. Ain't got nothing to do with God. See, because what you got to understand, there's nothing wrong with laughing at something that's funny. See, a lot of times we so crazy. We think we're not supposed to laugh. If you don't laugh, you walk around all uptight. You wired so tight. You like, why does it? You gonna hurt somebody. We wonder why people get all mad because they're so tight. That's how they come to church on the inside and on the outside. They act like they're praising the Lord. They ain't a bit more praising the Lord. Look at their eye. Does a smile go past their nose into their eye, or does it stay right here? Y'all, okay. Don't nobody look at nobody right now. Some people smile don't leave here. It's like a grin. You don't see a dog get ready to light you up. That's how they look. That's how it looked to me. But if you ever see another dog look at you, and the dog do like, and you can see the happiness all the way up in his eyes. That's how some people are. They got a grin. Boy, you better watch that right there. Just because they show you teeth don't mean nothing. Now, okay, now let's go over here. He said, do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not him. For all that is in the world, listen to this right here. The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, the pride of life is not of the world. I want to talk about this pride of life. Race pride, grace pride, and face pride. See, if you're not careful, you can get caught up in how fine you are. In some cultures, you're still ugly. Ain't no sense in getting mad, just some cultures you ugly. I mean, look here. When I was a kid, we picked at people that spoke funny. I mean, one man came to the community, and he spoke Spanish, Puerto Rican, and we laughed, pick at him and everything. So here I am in Okinawa, on a bus, with everybody that speak Japanese. Okay. So I learned not to do that no more. Because if you can't speak, I'm trying to find out what bus I need to get on to get back to base. They speak in Japanese. I don't know. I mean, I could say, Ohio gozaimasu. Good morning. That's not going to help you get on the right bus. That's right. That's the problem with some of these little Spanish books and all that kind of stuff. What does that got to do? Good morning. They ain't got nothing to do with it. Which bus do I need to be on? And you do everything you can to communicate to them. You know how you do this? Anybody do this before? You talk real slow, like that's going to help. Which bus? It's still English. If you can talk slow English, it's still English. Okay, any of y'all ever done it? Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know, like say, for example, you meet somebody and they Latino or whatever, and they can't speak English, and you try to say, it is over there. They don't know what you just said. No comprende. So what you got to do is you got to make a point. You got to speak the language of God in your prayer time. See, you can't get caught up in the idea that I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to say what I want to say. You can't just love the world and the things of the world and be victorious in the things of God. You got to do what God said, the way God said do it every single time. And sometimes you can get caught up because somebody some people don't want to do that. Nothing you can do about that. Everybody here got a will, isn't that right? Everybody had to jump in their car and decide to come here tonight, isn't that right? If you decided not to come, we didn't. There was no way we could go get you and make you come here. We wouldn't go driving for you. I tease some people. I said, look, I won't be in your driveway blowing the horn, but you know, I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. I was just teasing and cracking a joke, and they knew I was cracking a joke. They weren't expecting me up in. If I was showing me drive, they said, "What this fool doing up in?" You know, that's what they'd say. Y'all know it's the truth. Get down. What this fool? What the? I thought he was playing. Can you imagine somebody up in your driveway blowing the horn about, blah, blah, blah? Hey, we were looking for you. No. See, spiritual warfare is all volunteer. You got to make your mind up. You got to make your mind up that I'm not going to just run with the world. See? And now listen to this. I want you to see this. 17th verse. And the world is passing away, and the lust of it. But he who does the will of God abides forever. If you want to abide forever, in this life and in the life ever after, you got to do the will of God. So you got to make up your mind, I'm going to do the will of God no matter what. Now, see, doing the will of God, see, sometimes you're not going to be understood when you do the will of God. People think you're a fanatic. People think you're crazy. People think you're unforgiving. People think you're full of pride. People think all this kind of stuff. But the bottom line is, what is God telling you? Because I'm going to tell you what a lot of folk will do. They want to stay close enough to destroy you and keep you from what God has for you. You remember we talked about Samson and Delilah? It said that she pestered him all day long and vexed his soul to death.